All right, you guys, it is 2025 and it is time for One Piece Bingo. So the way it works is that this is just a fun game that I've seen a lot of content creators play, where they have this bingo sheet and they list out events that they think we'll see in 2025. Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. It's all for good and fun. So with that being said, I kind of want to hop into it and just play my hand at it. I've never made one of these before, but I collabed with Zonin the other day on his channel, and we went over somebody else's bingo sheet. So I said, hey, I want to make my own. So here we are. Of course, the middle spot, usually in bingo, is free. So I put Boa Hancock right there. So hopping right into it, my first guess. Ooh, this is going to be rough. First guess, I'm going to stick with one that I think is pretty simple, a safe one. I think Gecko Moria joins Cross Guild. Let me write that in. We're on Paint, by the way, so if I mess something up, blame Paint. I've never used Paint before. Boom, there we go. Gecko Moria joins Cross Guild. Can I bolden this, actually? Let me see. Can I even re-edit something after I throw it down? That's the real question. Let me see here. Let me see. No, I don't think I can. Okay, well, that's going to be forever small. So yeah, I think Gecko Moria could join Cross Guild. I think that is definitely something we could see in 2025. Small, simple event. I mean, we know he's alive. We know that him and Perona escaped Hachinosu. So where's he gonna go? I think Cross Guild, right? It's not like he can go back home. It's not like he can just go and, hang out and, sip some martinis saying, my best friend Absalom died. I tried to get revenge. I failed. Well, time to retire again. He's not going to do that. I think we will see Gecko Moria in the near future, and we still need the explanation as to why they wanted to kill him at Marineford. Of course, we could come up with the simple solution and say, oh, maybe Gecko Moria was just way too weak. They didn't want him in the ranks anymore. Or maybe it has something to do with his devil fruit powers. Maybe there's a deeper meaning behind why Gecko Moria was to be assassinated. So yeah, I would love to see him again. Also, we don't know if he has a prison body right now. I'm kind of banking on that, right? There's a reason why Oda didn't show us Gecko Moria at Hachinosu or in his prison cell, and I think it's because this guy got jacked. Nothing motivates a man to work out more than if somebody kills their best friend and they want vengeance. So yeah, Gecko Moria, that is on my 2025 bingo card. So next up, ooh, this is gonna be rough. I don't want to put anything that's like super easy per se. Let me think. Ooh, Boa Hancock. What about Boa Hancock? What can we do with her? Here, let me see if I can make this actually a little bit bigger. My God. Let's do font size 18. Ooh, that might be too large. 14. There we go. Bolden it as well. There we go. Okay. So, Boa Hancock. Oh, that's much better. Boa Hancock. Does she find Luffy? Ooh, that's a bet right there. Boa Hancock finding Luffy. Man, I don't want to be that guy, but I'm gonna have to do it. Boa Hancock joins Cross Guild. 2 Cross Guild ones back to back. I think it's because I have the Cross Guild shirt on. I'm repping Cross Guild right now, so I'm kind of in that mindset. But I do think that all the former warlords will join Cross Guild. Gecko Moria, Boa Hancock, hell, throw in Doflamingo. Dude, Doflamingo might be my very next one, hell. But yeah, Boa Hancock, I could see her joining. Of course, why would she join, right? She said she wanted to find Luffy. Buggy and Luffy are 2 very different people, but maybe because she can't find Luffy currently, she joins Buggy for the time being. That's kind of what I expect. And of course, if Boa finds Luffy's group, she'll want to join the crew. Do we want Boa Hancock as the 10th Nakama? I don't know, right? Because she can't exactly be a Grand Fleet member, because she wouldn't just say, oh, let me fly your flag, Luffy, and then I'll just sail around and do things until you become Pirate King. No, she would want to be there, right? She would want to be attached to Luffy by the hip. Especially since she possibly departed Amazon Lily without any of her subordinates. If it's just Boa Hancock out on the open seas, there's no way we're just going to let her go. Or she'd want to go solo. So I think for the time being, She might join Cross Guild just to run into Luffy one day. Maybe even for Cross Guild's protection, since they are like a Yonko crew, right? Maybe she flies the Cross-Guild flag on Amazon Lily. Kind of blasphemous because they do have the Straw Hat flag at Amazon Lily anyways, so maybe that's not the case, but yeah, of course, like I said, bingos aren't always supposed to be easy, per se. So, yeah, we'll throw Boa Hancock on here, even though this one is very, like, 50-50. Next up, already talked about it. Let's do Dofi. Cross-Guild already? No. Let's do Dofi breaks out of Impel. Oh, man, you guys are seeing, like, the worst spelling and the worst placement here. Yeah, Dofi breaks out of Impel Down. I think that is in the cards. We've seen that Impel Down has been mentioned before during the Vegapunk message. They were like, hey, like, Magellan, you know, the waters are rising, brother. I guess it's time to go up, huh? And then that's the last we saw of him. Of course, Dofi, the master of speeches over here, the master of wordplay. I definitely think he is thinking about how he's going to escape. And hell, if they bring him to Barrage Raw, that might even just be the worst possible option, to be honest. Dofi, his entire motivation is to bring down the Celestial Dragons. So yeah, I think he will break out. I think taking him to Barrage Raw will be a mistake. I think he'll just do his own thing. Of course, like I said earlier, I think he will also find a home in Cross Guild, but that is yet to be seen, all right? This is 2025, by the way. Let me just write that up here. Asterisk 2025. Yeah, so keep in mind, every year, at least the past couple of years, Oda has only released around, I would say like 30, 35 chapters. So yeah, all of this has to happen in the next 30 to 35 chapters, right? It's not like, oh, like it happens down the road so it gets marked. No. We're talking about 2025 here, right? We're talking about the next 30 or so chapters. So yeah, I got Gakko Moria, Boa Hancock, Dofi. Let's keep this entire first row cross-guild oriented. Let's go with Mihawk. Mihawk beats somebody. Let me put parentheses and put named, by the way. Because if Mihawk just beats up a fodder guy, I don't want that to count, right? We want it to be at least a little bit challenging. I think we will see Mihawk beat somebody, whether it's Fujitora, whether it's somebody from Whole Cake Island, because they do need that poneglyph. Hell, it could even be somebody from Wano. I think he will just beat a named character, and part of the reason why I'm pretty confident in saying this is because Mihawk needs feats, bro. Mihawk desperately needs something legitimate, something physical under his belt before Zoro beats him. Because right now, like, he has the title, we know he's strong, you know, he used to clash with Shanks, he looked okay at Marineford, but I think we need more of him current day. Like, imagine if Zoro beats Mihawk right now. Like, this year, Zoro fights Mihawk, it's done. It's like, okay, that's cool, Zoro's dream is fulfilled, but Mihawk, like, we haven't seen this guy do anything else. Like, this guy needs more feats before Zoro beats him. He can't just be this imaginary boogeyman the entire time. We need to see something from this guy, and hopefully he beats somebody who's named, right? Somebody whose strength we can draw a comparison to. So next one. Crocodile. Should we do Crocodile or should we do Buggy? Buggy. I don't even know where Buggy's gonna go. Well, I guess I could just do like a general Cross Guild one, huh? Cross Guild, let's do this. Cross Guild gets at least 2 poneglyphs. I think 3 right away might be a little bit crazy, so let's do 2. And I think this is very easily obtainable, by the way. I mean, the fact that Buggy was a part of Gold Roger's pirate crew gives him so much leeway, so much easy access. It's like a guy at a glory hole convention. Like, my God, like Buggy, knowing the Minx of Zoe already, boom, poneglyph, right? Just, hey, you're Roger's guy? Buggy, I remember you from 20, 30 years ago. Hey, poneglyph? Yeah, here you go, man. Why not? Right? He goes to Wano. He sees his good friend Nekomamushi. He talks about Odin a little bit. Hey, Buggy, here's a poneglyph, right? Like, even though they are allied with the Straw Hat crew, even though those islands love the Straw Hats, they love Roger. And guess who was with Roger? Buggy. So yeah, I feel like if he just goes to those locations, he will get them easily. And then, of course, when it comes to Whole Cake Island, I mean, if Big Mom isn't there, Like, we could just knock out 2-1, right? Like, Mihawk could beat pretty much everybody there solo dolo, you know? Like, I'm not even like a Mihawk glazer. I know I say that, I got Mihawk at the bottom corner here, but come on, guys. Let's be real. Mihawk goes to Whole Cake Island. I don't think Mihawk loses, right? You know, hell, you could have Big Mom. I think Mihawk still wins. I'm gonna be quite honest. You know, we got Katakuri here with the best feats with the future sight, but we got Hawkeye Mihawk, a guy that potentially has, again, one of the best observation hockey in the series, at least, you know, based off of his epithet. So yeah, I'm giving this one to Mihawk. I think Cross Guild can slap the entire world with Mihawk and Crocodile on the crew. And then, of course, Buggy and his charisma, that brings in a bunch of bozos as well. So they have, like, infinite bodies at their disposal. So we knocked out all of Cross Guild. Now I'm getting kind of dicey. We got a lot of these to go. Shoot. You know what? Let's keep this on theme. Each row will be focused on a different group. Let's do the Straw Hats now. Let's do the Straw Hats. This is going to be a fun one. Luffy loses a fight. Let me put a fight there. Let me distinguish it a little bit. I think Luffy will lose a fight. As a guy who roots for villains, and as a guy that loves to see his main character struggle against adversity, I do like it a lot when Luffy loses battles. I think that sets the tone. It shows that Luffy has more room to grow. And let's be real, Luffy has been riding a high ever since his fight against Kaido. That fight against Kaido, yeah, it was hard fought. Don't get me wrong, hard fought. But the minute Luffy got Gear 5th, man, he was kind of memeing, right? He was kind of memeing on him. And then we got Luffy versus Rob Bellucci. Again, my favorite character, man, memed on him. Totally cool with it, but Luffy was looking too good. Looking too good. And then against Kizaru, against Tagoras, like, man, Luffy's looking fire right now, man. It's the year of Luffy. And because of that, I think it is about time when somebody puts Luffy in his place, saying, hey, Luffy, you're strong, but you gotta get stronger, brother. It's the final saga, right? So I feel like we will need to suffer some sort of loss. I feel like this happens a lot, by the way. Whenever we hit a new arc or new saga, Luffy typically loses, and then he learns, and then he gets stronger, right? Caesar Clown, prime example. Did he lose against Doflamingo? No, he didn't. He just kind of like got stuck in the Coliseum for a while, and then he had to fight Bellamy. So that's not exactly a loss. Kaido, of course, that was a loss. Oh yeah, Enies Lobby, right? I talked about Enies Lobby. Rob Lucci. He lost against Rob Lucci in the very beginning, and then he came back, beat Rob Lucci. So yeah, I think Luffy will suffer some sort of defeat here, and then he will get stronger, and then he will maybe not beat that opponent this year. I feel like, you know, obviously we're talking about the next 30 chapters, but yeah, I feel like Luffy will win at the end of the day, but he has to get humbled. He has to get humbled. So since this is Straw Hat themed, who's the next Straw Hat I want to throw in here? Should we do Sanji? I'm trying to think. All the Straw Hats. Let's go with Robin. Okay, let's go with Robin. And let me think about this for a second. Okay, so Robin's at the library. Robin's with Saul. I don't think Robin's going to get kidnapped. I think she's, you know, she's way too old for that. We've dealt with that plot line so many times. She's not going to get kidnapped, despite the Holy Knights being here. Robin. Let me see here. Robin. God, there's a Hail Mary. Robin reveals Ancient Kingdom name. AK name. Yeah. I mean, we don't know if Robin knows it or not already. Like, there is a legitimate chance that Robin has known the Ancient Kingdom name ever since she was 9 years old. I'm not even joking when I say that, by the way. Because the researchers of Ohara learned the name of the Ancient Kingdom based off of their research in poneglyphs. Robin was there as well. Robin was studying the same poneglyphs. That's how she's able to read them. You know, so there is a chance Robin could just say, hey, by the way, guys, I forgot to mention it, but, you know, here's the name of this kingdom, right? It's just never come up in conversation with the Straw Hats, so it could just be one of those things she omitted for the longest time. Kind of like how in Wano, Robin said, yeah, by the way, you know, the poneglyph in Alabasta, it said that Pluton's here in Wano. And it's like, okay, Robin, like, you had that info for the past 700 chapters? You just never told us? So yeah, I think there is a chance that she knows the AK name, and she'll just drop it in this arc. And if she doesn't, let's spin it. If she doesn't know the name, then she'll learn it here because she has the damn books, right? So, yeah. I think Robin could definitely hit us with this. I think that is pretty fair. We are in Elbaf. I feel like people also call it Lorebaf a lot. So that is pretty solid. So next up, okay, so Straw Hats. Do I want to do Usopp? This is Usopp's arc. I feel like in the next 30 chapters, I don't know if Usopp will have a prominent role yet. I feel like he will by the end of the arc, but in the next 30 chapters, okay, let's do this. Usopp, this is, I'll admit, I'm copping out on this one a little bit. Usopp gets a teaser power. Usopp gets a teaser power, as in, we see the potential for Usopp, whether it's a new weapon that gets hinted at, whether it's hockey that he mentions, or something of the sort. I feel like we will get a teaser as to something Usopp will get later on. Again, a little bit of a cop-out. I don't want to go full send with Usopp defeating somebody, or Usopp, you know, getting a god title. I think that might be a little bit too soon, because right now everything's still going really well. I feel like when it comes to Usopp, he usually shines when everybody else is occupied with the battle or just held up, right? Thinking about Dressrosa, like, the Straw Hats had to go down, and he had to be the only person around to run the fade against Trouble and Sugar, right? Like, he was their last hope. He had to do it. So it's one of those things where, because all the Straw Hats are at full capacity, like right now in the present timeline, he's not gonna do anything. He's gonna take a back seat for the time being until he is legitimately the only person there. So next up, let's go with Straw Hats. Do I want to do Frankie? Yeah, let's do Frankie. Frankie, upgrade. Oh, shoot, we're going to the other box. Let me go to the next line. Upgrades. Sunny. Nah, this is rough too, because I feel like this would fall towards the end of Elbaf, right? We're leaving the island. Hey, by the way, guys, here's some upgrades. I don't know if you would do this early. He is studying the Atom Tree, though. He is, like, reading the books at the library, so I feel like we will get an upgrade, like, oh, the Atom Wood here in Elbaf is better than what we have. Let me just replace some parts, like the ship of Theseus. Or, ooh, I love the Sunstones. Let me put one on the ship. Either way, I feel like he will upgrade it, but in the God year of 2025, I don't know. Okay, let me erase this actually. Frankie does not upgrade the Thousand Sunny. Let's do Frankie gets an upgrade. No, that's silly too. Okay, let's erase Frankie. Let's erase Frankie. I feel like that one's a little bit too rough. Do we want to go with Zoro? Zoro gets a clash? Question mark? Yeah, Zoro gets a clash. Okay. Damn, the only swordsman on the island is Stabs, huh? The Shanks twin clone guy. So if I say Zoro gets a clash, it's gonna have to be with him. Could I see that? Zoro versus Stabs for like a second? I guess so. I mean, Zoro is the type of guy that's like, you know, he would go in for it. Yeah, okay. Zoro gets a clash. I'll go with that one. I feel like this is a throwaway, though. I feel like this is not going to get met. That's a little bit too specific. There's only one character that can fulfill that, right? It has to be Stabs. I don't think Zoro's going to fight a giant, you know? Like, we're allied with all the giants here. I doubt he's going to be like, hey, giant, let's clash our blades, right? No. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. And then imagine a giant clashing with Zoro. What would that look like? Like, when you think about the giants right now, like, of course, we're still meeting them as we speak. But what giant has a sword that could actually go mano-y-mano with Zoro. I don't think any of them, man. I mean, I guess Loki, but Loki has a hammer. Loki actually just has a hammer, so yeah, all the giants kind of get ruled out on that one. Okay, now last but not least, let's go with Chopper. So I'm gonna put Chopper talks to Owl. Easy one. I'm gonna give myself, the Zoro one's too hard. Give myself an easy one with Chopper talking to the Owl. So we know that Chopper can talk to animals. He did it recently with Eastcat, and I know what you're saying, Sai. Chopper talking to the Owl, that's like easy peasy. But you do have to remember that Oda doesn't always like to use Chopper's ability. I don't know if Oda feels like it's too busted, or maybe we just don't get lucky with Chopper running into animals that often. But this is an ability that Oda doesn't always throw on Chopper, though, right? Like, I remember back in the day that he used to do this all the time, right? Go to pre-time skip, and Chopper was talking to damn near every animal we saw. There wasn't a single stone left unturned with Chopper. But post-time skip, he kind of like uses it once, maybe every 100 or so chapters. So I think saying Chopper talks to the Owl could be easy, but also could be something that Oda just avoids entirely. And the thing with the Owl is that if he talks to the Owl, my God, we could get so much information. The Owl has been around for centuries. It could tell us about his devil fruit. It could tell us about people who visited Elbaf. It could tell us about, books that he would want. Because Chopper is going around looking for medicinal books. Who better than to give Chopper those books than the Owl? Of course, we have Saul, the librarian here, but the Owl's been around longer than Saul. So yeah, I think the Owl is huge. So now for the middle row, let's avoid the Straw Hats and let's go to just general Elbaf stuff. So you guys know me. I've been a huge proprietor for no real reason, really. This is a vibe-based theory, but Ange is evil. So I think Ange is the traitor, man. We don't even have any hints that there is a traitor on Elbaf, but I think she's a traitor. I think she's up to no good. I think she's selling. And we have seen that here in Elbaf, the world government has been, laying their tendrils around with Mother Carmel, for example, right? Mother Carmel, a human, of course, but she came to Elbaf and she was like, hey, giants, I love you. How about you get drafted to the WG and Marines? Carmel was a bad person. So I wouldn't be super shocked if there was another giant, or not another giant, but another person here in Elbaf that is of the same vein now that Carmel is gone. And that person could be Ange. Right? People have been bringing up the Ange Norse mythology connections. She could be based off of Angerboda, which is Loki's wife in mythology, I believe. I could be getting that wrong. But she's also known as the mother of monsters, right? Maybe she's working with the Holy Knights, even. I feel like Ange is going to be a bad person. And, some people are saying, Sai, you just don't like her because she's ugly. And that's part of the reason. I will admit that's like 5%. But the other 95%, it's the vibes, dude. It's the vibes. I just don't trust her. I don't trust her as far as I can throw her, and I got a bad shoulder. So, next Elbaf-based theory, let's go with Loki. Loki teams up with Luffy. I think this is in the cards. I mean, Loki is essentially Luffy, right? We've seen pretty much a lot of Luffy's traits within Loki, whether it's the sun god thing, whether it's Loki loving animals, Loki, I was about to say having a crew, but that's like a very broad one. Everybody has a crew. But, the nicknames as well, the nicknames, right? He calls Luffy Logi for a second. And then for Mosa is probably a nickname because Mosa just means hairy. So yeah, like I think Loki and Luffy would be a really cool team up, and they could learn a lot from each other, right? The double sun gods, my God, that'd be insane. So yeah, Loki and Luffy, I think that'd be amazing. And plus they did make some sort of promise as well. And one thing to keep in mind is that if Loki is a mirror to an extent of Luffy, we know that Luffy always keeps his promises. The minute Luffy says something, he's gonna do it. Maybe Loki's the same way, which might be a little bit too naive, I will admit, because Loki is based off of the trickster god of Norse mythology, but I want to put my faith in Loki for now. I think he is probably going to end up being a good person. You know, we've been around the block with One Piece for a while now. If people generally say somebody's bad, there is a chance they're going to be good after we get their backstory. So yeah, Loki and Luffy, I say lock it in. Lock it in. So another Elbaf based theory. Heaven World is bad. Let's do that. Heaven World equals no good. There we go. Yeah, I don't know why. I have a bad feeling about the Heaven World. I feel like nothing good can come out of that place. Dude, we talked about it before, but typically when Oda leads you to believe something, it's usually the opposite, and I just don't think the Heaven World is good. Like, nobody's mentioned anything about it yet, but there's got to be a reason why the giants don't live there, right? The giants live in the Sun Realm, and sure, that's because the sun reaches it, but what about the Heaven World? Like, nobody really said anything about it, so I'm kind of sus about it right now. I think the Heaven World is not going to be a good place, whether it's because of disease, whether it's because of monsters, giant animals. I think something is awry up there. Maybe they call it the Heaven World because that's where people go to die, right? Like, maybe that's where they bury their old. Kind of like how the Skypians had the Kona trees and they just kind of buried people nearby them. Maybe it's the same thing. Or they didn't bury people nearby them. They believed that the Kona trees held the spirits of their ancestors. It could be something of the same vein, where we get to the Heaven World and they're like, yeah, this place is our graveyard. You know, this is where the spirits come to rest. Whether or not that's true, you know, that's up for debate. But I do think the Heaven World is not going to be a fun place. Let me put no fun. No fun. Because no good makes it seem like it has to be evil. But let's just put no fun. It's not going to be like a good vibe area. So next up, let's do... Okay, I don't want to do stabs. We'll do Holy Knights here in a minute. We'll do Holy Knights, World Government, and Marines. But for now, let's do... Ooh, Colin's dad. No, we're going to meet him. There's no way we don't meet Colin's dad in the next 30 chapters. I don't know if I want to write that in. Again, that might be a little bit too easy. Huh. Not Colin's dad. Let's not do Ripley. Who's another character here in Elbaf we could talk about? I guess we could talk about Mosa, huh? Yeah, let's do Mosa. Mosa is a... Mosa has secret treasure. Do we want to put that down? Mosa has a secret treasure. Yeah, let's go with that. Oh, that's rough. That's rough. Mosa has a secret treasure. So, we don't know what event Mosa took part in, but Mosa saw something that was traumatizing. They saw something where a lot of bad people were running amok, right? Because Loki said, oh, if I was there, I'd kill everybody, right? So, probably bad people there. Mosa escaped that situation, and now they're in hiding. Loki mentioned, hey, like, you're probably really bored. And it's like, oh, okay, like, why are they really bored? Probably because they're in hiding. They haven't really been out and about. They can only communicate via Denden Mushi. Mosa and Loki have never met face to face. So yeah, I feel like they are hiding away somewhere because they have something that they can't let out to the public. I think that's what it is. The reason I say this is rough, because it does seem pretty concrete, is because I say secret treasure. Mosa having a secret that could expose the WG or a bad person is one thing, but I think it will be something physical. Whether it's a devil fruit, whether it's an item, I feel like Mosa has it. Whatever it is. Again, pretty abstract. Okay, so now let's get into more nitty-gritties. Let's go with stabs. Stabs kills someone. Let's also put named. I don't want to say just random giant, right? Because we could consider the giant that we saw last chapter killed, right? Oh, they got hit with bandages, maybe they're dead. But yeah, I think stabs will kill somebody, whether it's Ja Rule, it could be Saul, could be Oimo. No, Oda would not kill Oimo and Kashi or Dorian Brogy. Colin's dad. No, Colin's dad probably won't die. I feel like if there was somebody that would die, it might just be Saul. That would be crazy. We bring Saul back and we kill him right away. Yeah, I think Stabs could definitely kill somebody. And yeah, I think it will be named. Who? I don't know, but I think he will kill one person. Because we have to solidify him as the evil Shanks, right? So yeah, I think he will catch a body here. So next up, let's talk about Shanks for a minute. Why not? Shanks also beats, kind of like the Mihawk one. Shanks beats somebody, parentheses, named. Wow, look at that. Shanks and Mihawk having the exact same thing, right? So I think Shanks will beat somebody else. I would consider Barto defeat, by the way. I think Shanks did defeat him, even though he didn't, like, shoot his ship down. I would consider that a Shanks W. So I think we'll get another one of those feats from Shanks. He kind of falls in the same category as Mihawk as well, in terms of my line of thinking, where Shanks, we know he's powerful, we know he's strong, but because he's kind of like a candlelight and I feel like he will burn out eventually, I feel like we do need more feats there before he is gone, right? Just like how Mihawk is eventually going to get beaten by Zoro, so that's why I think he needs more feats. I think Shanks is the same way. Eventually, Shanks will lose, whether it's to Emu or Blackbeard or somebody. He will lose one day, and before that happens, I think he needs more W's. And because Oda loves Shanks a lot, I think we'll get that too. So yeah, I think Shanks will beat somebody. And the reason I'm pretty confident in some of these as well, at least the outside ones in 2025, is because we have Egghead as a good reference point, where on Egghead Island, we skipped around a lot, right? We saw the Straw Hats 1 minute, and then we go to Law and Blackbeard, we go to Shanks and Kid, we go to the Reverie. Like, I feel like we could bounce around even more now that we're here in the final saga. So since we're kind of bouncing around, looking at Bo Hancock with that one, let's do Dragon. Ooh, Dragon beat somebody? No, that would never happen. Not in 2024. Maybe 2050, but not 2025. I said 2024, huh? Yeah, I'm still getting used to that. Year changes are always rough. I feel like I say 2024 or like the previous year for the first month, and then eventually it get like solidified. It just kind of gets hammered in. So Dragon's currently at Kamabaka Queendom. Where would Dragon go after? Like, that's so weird to think about, huh? Like, Dragon, after he leaves Kamabaka, where would he go? I kind of just feel like it's a straight shot to Marie Joie. But it's way too early. Yeah, it's way too early. Let's do Dragon moves locations. I feel like he could liberate a place. Because Dragon used to do that back in the day, right? Like, we saw Dragon at Sorbet Kingdom. So yeah, maybe Dragon just has some fun again. He stops strategizing in the room. And he actually goes out and does something. Yeah, I think Dragon leaves Kamabaka. So next up, let's see here. We got Shanks, we got Dragon. Let's do... We even have Crossgull. I'm trying to think of another faction. Let's do Holy Knights. Let's do more Holy Knights in action. Yeah, more Holy Knights in action. I could definitely see this happening as well. Outside of the Bandage, Mummy Girl, and outside of Stabs, I think we will see more of them working as we speak. Because they should be securing food for the world government, and they should also be dealing with Dragon, right? So because of that, I feel like we will see them pretty soon. We do know that Blackbeard has been keeping an eye on how the revolutionaries have been destroying the Bondolas. Unless, of course, Blackbeard himself is doing it and he's simply blaming Dragon. But yeah, either way, I feel like because Oda is focusing on that front so much, we will see the Holy Knights do something about it. Right? Like, they can't just let somebody destroy the Bondolas that deliver food to Marie Joie every other Tuesday. They gotta stop that at some point, right? At some point, the Holy Knights have to say, hey guys, cut it out, stop messing with our elevator. And yeah, I think we will see the Holy Knights finally do something outside of Stabs and Mummy Girl. So now, oh shoot, I messed that one up a little bit. There we go. Okay. So now I'm trying to think another faction. Let's do Marines. Yeah, let's do some good old Marines. Smoker opens his box. So last we saw, Smoker, I think he was on his way to Sword, if I recall correctly. And behind him, on his bellow bike, he had this weird box with an X on it. Some people are saying it's a poneglyph. I don't think it's a poneglyph. It's way too small. Like, the box he had was maybe, like, the size of my couch back there, right? Like, it's not a big box, right? A poneglyph is, like a giant, well, not a giant size. It's like, I'd say a poneglyph is about 30 feet tall. So yeah, I don't think Smoker was carrying a poneglyph. I think it is a box with something in it, something important. And I think once Smoker reaches Tashigi or his destination, he will open it up and it will be something huge. People are saying it could be a Seraphim. People are saying it could even be some weapons or some devil fruits. Not too sure. But either way, I think Smoker will open that mysterious box. So, okay, are we still going to stick with outside characters? Sure, why not? Why not? Let's go with Kid. Kid makes a comeback. I think Kid will make a comeback. I mean, I'm not on the boat that Kid's dead. I feel like that's like a 0% chance, right? Like, with how popular Kid is, in Japan at least, you know, in America, people hate Kid. I don't know what it is. People absolutely despise this guy, but he does have like a solid fan base in Japan. You know, he is like the antithesis of Luffy to an extent, where Shanks sacrificed an arm for Luffy, and then Shanks' crew took an arm from Kid. They both got annihilated. We both got the narrator box saying that Kid was defeated, Luffy was defeated. Like, Kid is just a bad timeline Luffy. And in that sense, I feel like Kid also follows the same story to an extent, and because of that, I think he will make a comeback. And I think he will come back here on Elbaf as well. Because this is the closest island, I mean, he got beaten right off the coast. I feel he's just going to wash ashore, and that's pretty much it. What will his comeback look like? I don't know. I don't think it's going to be something glorious. I don't think he's going to jump back into the race for the One Piece, right? I think he's done in that regard, but I think he will come back, though. He's not somebody who's just going to get defeated and then retire like Gecko Moria, right? Gecko Moria got beat by Kaido back in the day. He said, well, I'm done. Time to create a zombie army. I don't think Kid's going to be the same way. I feel like this guy's too hard-headed. He's too much like Luffy in that regard. And I think he will just kind of bunker down, and maybe even train. And Elbaf could be a great place for that, right? Luffy trained on Ruskaina. He fought giant animals. That was his time skip. Kid, maybe he spends a couple years here in Elbaf, right? Luffy did mention that the animals here kind of remind him of Ruskaina. He's familiar with giant animals. Boom, boom, boom. Kid could fight the animals here and get stronger. I think that would be pretty damn awesome. If I wanted to be foul, though, I could just say Kid gets hockey, or Kid uses hockey. Because let me tell you, Kid hasn't exactly flexed that Conqueror's hockey yet. I mean, we know he has Conqueror's observation and armament, but has he shown any of those in the manga? Or even the anime? Not exactly, not exactly. So, next one, though. Let's go with... Kaido? Big Mom? Kaido, Big Mom, fate reveal. Yes. Yeah? Yes. So, Yamato's cover page story. Right, we got Yamato running around Wano. I feel like it could end off with Kaido and Big Mom being revealed to either be dead or alive. I am leaning towards alive. I mean, it's... The way I see it is that it's One Piece, right? A lot of characters do survive these crazy things. Big Mom did say that she'd come back one day. And then there's Kaido who his story's kind of like weird because it's like, yeah, he kind of wanted to see Joy Boy, so maybe he lives to see what future Luffy creates. Maybe he lives to help out King a little bit. Or maybe he just lives to help Jack out because Jack is his prodigy. Maybe he preps him for the next generation. And then Kaido just retires, right? I feel like we will see them again. But whether they're alive or dead, I'm not too sure yet. Like I said, I'm leaning towards alive, but that's just my opinion. So I just put fate reveal. I feel like we will get their fates revealed this year. Because just thinking about Yamato's cover page journey, we are 22 volumes in. So if we get another 20 or 30, we will have to meet Kaido and Big Mom, right? Yeah, I feel like that wouldn't be crazy. Because just thinking about the Jerma one, right? The last one we got was the Jerma one. We started with Jerma, and then we got the Blackbeard Pirates, and then we got Neo Mads. So it wouldn't be insane if we kind of jumped around to Kaido and Big Mom. And plus, we started the cover page journey with a shot of Onigashima sinking into the water. So perhaps we end with Onigashima rising from the water, and it's because of Kaido. Maybe that's going to be the takeaway there. Maybe like it'll fully loop around. So yeah, Kaido, Big Mom, fate reveal. Next one. Should we do Yamato? Yamato, gets defeated? No, we can't have Yamato lose in her own cover page story. But Wano is a prime target. Yeah, let's do Yamato gets defeated. No, okay, here's a better one. Blackbeard goes to Wano. I think he'll go to Wano for Pluton. And let's do another one. 2-for-1 special, guys. 2-for-1 special. They're selling these hot off the press. Blackbeard goes to Fishman Island. By the way, when I say Blackbeard, I mean his pirate crew. It doesn't have to be like Marshall D. Teach, right? It doesn't have to be him specifically. But just like Blackbeard's crew goes there. And it's because of Caribou, right? He goes to Wano for Pluton, and then he goes to Fishman Island for Poseidon. I feel like that's pretty set in stone. That's kind of what Oda has always been moving towards. But ever since we saw Caribou and we saw the meat pie, I'm not talking about that meat pie either, but ever since we saw the meat pie, which is a reference to Luffy and Blackbeard, we kind of already had a feeling that he worked for Blackbeard or he wanted to go to Blackbeard. So now that we got that confirmed last year, I think we will see the outcome of all of it. He will tell Blackbeard the info, and Blackbeard will capitalize on all of it. So now, final one. What do we want to end off on? Ooh, let's do let's do Akainu. Akainu. Do I want to put him on the same thing as Shanks and Mihawk? Akainu beats somebody. Parentheses named. No, dude. He's trapped behind a desk. Well, okay. If we were to go back 2 years, I would say Akainu beating Kuma counts. Because, I mean, he didn't kill Kuma, but he did, like, F Kuma up a little bit, right? Yeah, because Kuma was just running around as a robot. He couldn't really fight back. And then Akainu hit him with a Mego, a red dog. And then Kuma just teleported away. So that would be like Akainu beating somebody in a sense. But would he do that again? I don't know. I feel like he just has to guard the Holy Land. And then it's too early for Akainu to rebel. Akainu. I do want to do Akainu, though. Maybe we switch it up. Let's go to a different admiral. Kizaru's already been played. Green Bull. Green Bull? No, Fujitora. Let's do... Oh, wait, Sengoku. Sengoku goes to... does he go to Cross Guild or does he go to Hachinosu? Now we have to pick. Or do I want to cop out yet again and just say Sengoku destination reveal? It sounds like he's going on a vacation. A destination cruise. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Sengoku destination reveal. I feel like we will see where he's going. Him and Sudu took off. We don't know where they're going. We saw them on a ship, and that's it. They talked about Crosscut, they talked about Garp. We don't know where they're going, man. But I think we will see pretty damn soon. So yeah, there's my bingo card. I'm gonna be honest, I'm looking at it right now. I don't think I'm gonna get a bingo. I don't think I'm gonna get a single line, but that's the joy of it, right? We're here to have fun, make some predictions, and I would love to see what you guys would add into here. What one-line theory would you guys throw into the bingo card? Which ones do you think will come true? What do you think won't come true? Let me know what you think down below. I'd love to hear all that, and I'll catch you guys when the next chapter arrives. I might be doing a live stream pretty soon, by the way, of a top 30. I know a lot of people also did top 30s of the top strongest characters of One Piece. I'm a really bad power scaler. That's just kind of how it is. But I do think it'd be kind of fun to just go on a live stream and do that. So I might do that pretty soon. TBD, to be dated. But yeah, that's about it. Now, shameless plugs, guys. If you want to see me outside of One Piece and all this and YouTube, check out my Twitch channel at Syvduck. I also have a YouTube channel on the side, also Syvduck, where I post clips from the Twitch channel. It's good fun over there. I stream almost every other night. But yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Thank you so much for watching the video up until this point. Really freaking appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.